This video is about Symphony No. 82, The Bear, by Joseph Haydn. I'll explain the most important things about the work and the composer. Joseph Haydn composed his Symphony No. 82 in C major, known as The Bear, in 1786. It is one of the so-called Paris symphonies, a group of 6 symphonies that Haydn wrote for concerts in Paris. The nickname, The Bear, was only given later, based on the characteristic bass line in the last movement. Haydn composed this work at the height of his career, when he was already internationally recognized. The symphony shows his mastery of form, melody, and orchestration and reflects the tastes of the Parisian audience. The symphony, The Bear, follows the classical 4-movement structure. The first movement is a lively vivace in sonata form. The second movement is an allegretto in F minor. The third movement is a minuet with trio. The fourth movement, a finale vivace, brings the work to an energetic conclusion and contains the eponymous Bear melody. Each movement has its own character, but together they form a coherent musical whole. The nickname, The Bear, refers to the main theme of the last movement. The repeated bass line and the stamping rhythm reminded listeners of a dancing bear, a popular street entertainment in the 18th century. Haydn uses a simple, folksy melody here, which he artfully embeds in the symphonic structure. This combination of folk elements with complex musical treatment is typical of Haydn's mature style. In the symphony, The Bear, Haydn demonstrates his mastery of orchestration. He uses a large orchestra for the time, with strings, double woodwinds, horns, and trumpets. Haydn skillfully uses the different instrument groups to create contrasts and interesting timbres. His creative use of the winds is particularly striking, as they often take on important thematic tasks. He creates a rich, varied palette of sounds, ranging from delicate to powerful passages. Haydn's musical language in the symphony, The Bear, is complex and expressive. He uses contrasting themes, surprising harmonic turns, and refined rhythmic structures. The symphony shows Haydn's ability to develop themes and create great musical arches. Particularly noteworthy is the way he processes simple motifs throughout all movements, thus creating an inner unity of the work. The symphony, The Bear, was composed for a demanding Parisian audience. Haydn took French tastes into account by using brilliant orchestration, catchy melodies, and dramatic effects. The folk character of the last movement appealed particularly to the Parisian audience, which had a preference for exotic and rustic elements in music. The symphony was a great success and helped to establish Haydn's reputation in France. The symphony, The Bear, is an important work in Haydn's symphonic output. It displays all the characteristics of his mature style: perfect formal balance, thematic unity, masterful orchestration, and emotional depth. The symphony exemplifies Haydn's ability to bring classical form to its highest level of accomplishment while introducing innovative and surprising elements. It influenced subsequent composers in their treatment of symphonic form. The symphony, The Bear, was written at a time when Paris was an important center of musical life in Europe. Haydn, although not personally present, composed for a cosmopolitan audience that was open to new musical ideas. The symphony reflects the spirit of the Enlightenment, with its emphasis on clarity, balance, and expressiveness. It marks the transition from the classical to the Romantic periods and foreshadows future developments in symphonic music. The symphony, The Bear, is now part of the standard repertoire of many orchestras worldwide. Modern performances vary in interpretation, especially in terms of tempo and dynamics. Some conductors emphasize the classical aspect, others the forward-looking elements of the work. The symphony is often used in concert programs to demonstrate Haydn's importance for the development of the symphony. It remains a fascinating work that impresses both musicians and listeners with its perfection and musical depth.